buildings. Jean, can I steal your pen? Because I
Sure.
didn't bring one. I managed to remember the mouse for my computer.
Too many things.
Right. I have the, I don't even know what this is, building.
That's next to.
Former Rescue Squad building.
Yeah, that's next to the old fire station.
It's the white one with the
Yeah.
reindeer on it?
In the picture, yes, now the reindeer is on the store.
Mhm.
Before we move forward, though, I'd like to make a motion that we accept Eloise's notes as, Eloise's minutes as written, and John, I forgot to do it for your notes
That's
for
okay.
last time.
We'll do
Um,
the same thing.
So both of them at the same time.
Yeah. Can I
What
s-
was the date of your minutes, just so I can put it in here?
My minutes, April 4th.
No, that was the last meeting we had, isn't it?
Our meeting,
Yes.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Let me see.
Did you put a date on that thing?
I just saw it.
I think I did.
So it would have been the end of
From the
March.
March 28th meeting.
March 28th, you're right.
March 28th meeting.
Yeah, March 28th.
Okay, you said there were two things that were wrong with my minutes, so what?
That's what I said. That's what I meant, was, one, I forgot to approve John's minutes from last time.
Oh, okay.
And the second was, you're not clerk. Don't, you do beautiful minutes, don't take them. I hadn't realized you were filling in for Steve.
Yes, yeah.
Well, he said he heard his riff. I
Okay,
took him at his word.
I think that's fair.
Julia, if anybody else wants to, you will not hurt my feelings.
But you do such a wonderful job, Eloise.
Yeah, you do. I read the temporary, said, what happened? Then I got it.
Yeah.
Well, I just started typing it tonight at 5.
Oh,
You- Okay, so you second?
Yeah,
Or
I
you don't
second
second?
it,
Okay, all in favor say aye, aye.
I,
Aye, okay. Also, I have to remember to say this is an open session public meeting, and we are being recorded.
Oh, yeah, the
Yeah.
camera's staring at us.
And they're chatting in the next room.
One-eyed monster. Yeah.
Okay, so this rescue building, do we disagree with any information in the report?
No, I don't.
I wonder what their electricity bill is rated at.
could you go over it in, 10 words or less?
I can try. Let's see. They consider it fire department cold storage. It's 0.3 acres. It was built in 1965. It has,
It's in poor condition, they say.
the building envelope is badly compromised with a deteriorating roof, single pane windows. The doors require replacing, the sill requires replacing. The cost to repair the sill should be in routine maintenance. There's no plumbing. The electric heat may function. There's no fire alarm. Due to the age and condition of the building, the cost to demolish has been included in the budget by the client's request. What are they saying needs to be
So
replaced?
which one are you on? I'm sorry,
The,
Former rescue squad
Okay.
station.
yeah. So they say the exterior walls need to be painted. The electric system needs to be updated. The overhead door needs to be replaced. The exterior door needs to be replaced. So that all is a total for them of $10,000?
I think it was 25, wasn't
No, there's
Oh,
even
for
more,
those-
if you go down another page.
Yeah, for those first four things.
Mhm.
And then flooring, replace the floor, replace the light outside,
I
distribution.
was tempted to put in the minutes that it's hard to decide if we should get rid of a property when they haven't told us where they plan to be in 5 to 10 years.
Meaning like, does the.
Well, if you go back the last 5 years, nobody ever talked about doing the council on aging.
Right,
Getting more police officers, having more vehicles. So I found that was sort of a vacuum for me.
yeah, I don't think that's a bad vacuum. I mean, I think it's a
The
bad
question I
vacuum,
have,
but it's not a bad question.
Well, I don't wanna get into the problem of like they got the bucket truck or the council on aging van. I'm old, there is a possibility I could use it.
Mm-hmm,
On the other hand, I don't think they made any provision for it.
mm-hmm,
They, all of a sudden, it showed up.
mm-hmm. I think that's,
And I find that for a lot of things.
Yep.
I mean, the treasurer and tax collector forgot to come to work, and then he said, oh, yeah, I resign. You didn't know, we no longer have Paul Redmond?
no, isn't that the
No,
new,
no.
the new
Yeah, he
guy?
was just hired last year,
Yeah,
but he,
he just got certified by the Treasurer Collectors Association. And I looked at his work history, which you can find online. I lied on Facebook. I've never been on Facebook, but I said, yeah, I had an account. And, he stays a year, year and a half.
Hmm,
So right now Kathy, whom they got rid of the other two people who were working in there, cause they were working at 19 hours, they brought Kathy in to take both jobs, but she also gets benefits, cause she's over 20 hours.
hmm.
And then because he did a walk, she has help now. Do you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
just, I get the feeling sometimes we lurch.
I wouldn't argue that we have that we don't plan, and I think we don't plan because we have difficulty planning.
That is true.
But I think our difficulty planning means we don't plan, which makes planning difficult, which means we don't plan, like, I think we get stuck in that, and then
Loop.
things happen where, like you said, we're in a lurch, and we're like, oh, we gotta get out of the
So,
lurch.
I'm sorry, when you're talking about plan, you're talking
Yeah,
about
but
an overall
it's
5-year
like-
plan for the town as opposed to like a,
I mean, I think my impression is Eloise is talking about town and departments as
Yeah.
well,
You look
right?
at June, she had a smaller office. You realize that in the late 90s, she and I shared a tiny shoehorn up at the town hall. But she's gone from there, her records are in the other meeting room, and now she's taken over your room. I'm not saying she's wrong or anything, it's just
Yeah, that
we're
things that-
outgrowing space, and that's why I wanted to keep some of these other things,
right.
so to prevent,
I think not only are we outgrowing our space, but we're using a lot of our space inappropriately. And I don't know what is appropriate, I just feel like, as you said, we sort of get stuck in a lurch, and then we become reactive, and sort of go, oh, there's space over here, let's put it in there. And then 10 years from now, we go, oh, that doesn't work. We shouldn't have, like, what if we had planned better?
well, I don't
And-
know if you can go 10 years
Well,
might be,
5 years, but
3 to 5 years.
But
Yeah.
we have town manager, shouldn't he or she be taking care of planning and wrapping all this together?
I don't know the answer to that question. I don't
the
think.
town administrator,
I
you
don't
mean?
think it was in her job description.
No?
I don't think so.
Well, she's partly in charge of finances,
Yeah,
and, I mean, that's why I sort of support the police and fire getting them out of downstairs and putting them over there.
Mm-hmm.
Because why? That gives this building a little bit more space.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I do think this facility study is sort of the first step, but it would be nice if we were, because that 5-year plan, at least capital-wise, that's our job. And it's our job to ask the departments not only to provide it, but to then critique their provisions. Like, okay, so you buy a new bucket truck, where are you gonna keep it? You know, where does the gas go? Like those sorts of usage questions. Or
So-
storage.
Okay,
So
But-
my question on this building was,
Yeah.
reading the description on it, it sounds like almost all of it has to be replaced
Yep,
to be usable.
right, but do we need it? What?
And my question is, for a building that size and the cost now of construction, you know, what we were seeing that the police and fire were going through, just trying to do the attic build out,
Right.
and
Yeah.
how the numbers were going up. If, I'm not saying like a yes or no to sell it, but I think that's a question that I didn't really see answered in the facility study. I mean, they told us what the cost was
Yeah,
to redo it. But what was coming up again, like on Thursday, when we were talking about one of the other buildings, is there are so many more requirements now when you have a public space. I mean, that's what one of the things the fire and police were running into, is that it's not, it used to be you could do stuff with volunteers. Now you have to follow a lot of different guidelines, and depending on the usage. So the question is it worth
fixing it.
getting it up to public usable space?
right.
If
And
it means we don't, where would we add on to this building except going up?
well, not even saying going up, just like the way it is now, it's not that big.
And what's in it right now?
Is there an old truck in there?
I thought
Or
there was
ambulance?
like the original fire pumper truck or something.
The one for the muster.
I believe so.
So let me circle back to our paper.
Wait,
Oh.
before you do that, I know this is going back like 3 or 4 or 5 fire chiefs, but I believe Bruce Ricard told me that's where they stored foam.
Oh, like the PFAS, the spray fire stuff? That's an
something like
excellent
that.
question. Where do we store those harmful chemicals?
That's a lot of money for the storing an old truck. I know you may
I
have.
know, but they've also got the foam in there.
Do they still have the foam in there?
I don't know. I only work here.
So that's the question, is what's actually,
In there. Well, so, but I really enjoy these discussions.
but we have to be out
gotta
by
move
7.
forward, yeah.
Well, it'd be nice to be out, yeah, but also, the papers don't ask what we would do. And,
No, but
and
there's
I'm all for,
nothing that says we can't do a narrative.
I totally agree. I think it's,
Okay, then we'll just leave it for the rescue squad station, what is in there currently.
yeah, there you go. So do we disagree with any information in the report itself? It seems
No.
appropriate. And I didn't see anything about electric. Maybe I didn't get there.
Okay, next is what, Legion Hall?
No, we
No,
still-
we
we-
still
no,
have
we have to
6
answer-
questions about this one.
Mhm.
So the next one, of the, recommended improvements, which ones do you feel are the most, the most urgent? And I'm sorry I laughed, because this is the first one with the closest electric rate. They have it at 0.18.
It is my fantasy to go back and look at the report, and John, can you send me this so I can put the amount that they have figured for the electricity?
Okay, I'll forward you this.
Okay,
Okay, so in reviewing these recommended improvements, which ones do you feel are most urgent? Thoughts?
The
What
thing is,
shape
when
is
I,
the roof? Usually roof is the most important one.
I think the roof is, yeah, it's keep the building protected, but my question is, it looks like everything else has to be done too? Like you can't really not do something in this one?
You have to make it habitable.
And so if you're not gonna do any of the other repairs besides the roof,
It says immediate need about 25 grand, and then 1 to 2 years, 57,000, that's. Then I
Yeah.
would question, do we really need that building?
Well, I can't answer that till I know what is it currently used for.
It appears to be just
Picture?
storage,
storage.
cold
don't know, can
storage,
I
wasn't that
s-
what they said?
But storage, is it just junk in there, or
I'm gonna
No.
zoom in.
like
Can I
the
do it
old
this
gas
way?
station?
There we
I mean, fire station?
So there's ladders, this the second, oh no, this must be the first floor? It said there was a basement. So there's ladders and trash cans and a sofa on its back
Yeah, so this is.
and a wagon wheel. I'd take the sleigh,
Well, this is what the historical
Some
summary
muck-
says.
muck buckets.
When a new
weights.
public safety complex was constructed on an adjacent lot in 1999, the building was vacated and has been used for overflow storage since. A decommissioned fire truck is stored in the basement.
In the basement.
There's a basement there?
Well, that must explain, so, oh, I've zoomed it.
Oops.
I've never been in the building, so I don't know how it's configured.
So, it talked about a door, where's the door that wouldn't open? Here, overhead door in poor condition.
64.
It really. Flooring, exterior door, it's right here, overhead door, okay. So this picture shows a door coming out of the basement, like a
Mhm.
walkout basement?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
So they must drive the fire truck into the basement?
That's impossible
you-
through that door, no.
Are you at the old fire station?
No,
I
The
think the,
former rescue squad station?
yeah, the little white building.
I think the,
It looks like a single
fire
car
truck
garage.
is in the old gas, fire station, not in this one,
Not in
Mhm.
this one, okay.
no.
Okay, so then maybe the report's wrong then, because the report's
Yeah.
saying that may be
Because
a
I
question.
saw the truck in the, old fire station. I walked through that one, but
Mm.
I've never seen this one, didn't go through that.
Well, we'll just say we were unable to be definitive.
So I would make a note that on page 2 where it references the decommissioned fire truck and the basement.
No, it's
The
not
que-
in the basement.
Well, no, just basically say, the question is, was that this building or a different building?
Oh, okay.
Because other people who are reading this may have gotten the two buildings mixed up and not realized that,
I think they did, yeah,
because the names sound similar.
and they're next to each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
What is the age of the fire truck?
Oh, from 1920s or 40s, something like that, it's very old.
Okay.
so which repairs do we feel are the most urgent? Could we say something like structural? Just to cover, cause it's
Mhm.
flooring,
Yeah,
walls,
So many.
Mhm.
roof.
Yeah.
But that's gonna be cost associated with that.
Yeah. How do we propose to fund those improvements?
I know.
Boy Scouts.
I will tear this building down.
Boy Scouts,
Uh-huh.
charge visitors admission.
There you go.
Uh-huh.
We could do a touch the truck day and charge everybody.
Okay, funding undecided.
Yeah,
I think
Mhm.
that's nicer than me.
I would
Okay.
recommend this building to be torn down, and just
For $25,000.
take it down. Because as soon as you have space, they're gonna fill it up with crap. Those ladders, they can have in the back of the,
Mhm.
what is it?
So are there any recommended improvements you would not move forward with? You'd recommend demolish it?
Yeah.
Anybody else? Thoughts?
I don't wanna demolish it till I know what I'm exactly agreeing to.
Right, right.
Okay.
How about, do we recommend selling the building or land? It's 0.3 acres. It's probably like the building next to it where we decided that it doesn't have a value because it doesn't have a septic, you don't have
Mhm.
water.
Right.
It might be difficult to sell to anyone.
And if you tear it down, as Steve said, what's the zoning?
Yeah.
And can you put something else up?
Park,
I don't know that answer.
we need a dog park right on the corner.
We need what?
A dog park.
Yeah.
Right on the
Yeah.
corner.
My
Okay.
community put in a dog park.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's really popular.
I bet.
It took a lot of planning though.
Yeah.
Where is it?
Near the emergency exit, up, when you go up the hill for the emergency exit, there's just a piece of like buffer land. And so on a section of it, they put up some fencing. So it's really nice because it's, with all the trees and stuff, it's kind of secluded, but it's right next to the parking lot. So, and I found that some of the neighbors were using it too, so, from outside the community, so.
You guys
popular.
let outsiders in?
I don't, the thing is, the people who set up the dog park did all the research, and they have a team that has all the rules and regulations, so they decide who's allowed to use it. But I think, I like dogs, so I like that it's there.
I always thought a dog park would be good, maybe on Jones Road, you know, there's a little open
Yes.
area.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
Conservation
Open space
land.
there, you're right.
I thought that would be.
I see people bring their dogs there regularly.
I know.
so, yeah.
Let's,
Sorry,
in
we're
our
getting
spare
distracted.
time,
Free fertilizer.
make a dog park committee.
Huh?
I said, let's in our free time, make a dog park committee.
I think I'll pass.
Oh, come on, how are we gonna take minutes? Okay, so I make a motion that we vote to approve this piece of paper as we just discussed with
Second.
with a vote not to sell the land,
Second.
property. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Next up, the Legion Hall.
You know, I don't know anything about this building.
The Legion Hall,
Yeah,
that started life as the West Street School, when it was a
where's Lincoln Street? I don't even know that one.
you know, Five Corners?
Yeah,
And then you take a right,
yeah.
and then your first left.
Oh, yeah, that little short.
It's a little jog,
Yeah, okay. There's a Legion Hall there?
yes. Back, turn your minds back to the late 40s, people coming home after the war.
Yeah,
The government said you have to provide a place for the veterans to meet. That's where they've met. They have since sort of died off.
Yeah.
The current chairman of the veterans, I believe, is Roger Bradley.
Okay.
This guy the person who wrote this report liked the building. The foundation of this charming building utilizes two materials, fieldstone and granite block. The block sits on top of the fieldstone. Sorry.
One of the problems with the report is the first page shows the library.
Yeah, that stopped me. I closed it and then opened it
took me,
again.
like, I thought I was missing a document.
What
or-
was that?
The first page of the report is a picture of the library.
Oh,
And
yeah.
says
With
we're
the
looking at the
library's
library.
address.
Yeah.
So it doesn't,
But then it goes on to,
but the rest of it looks like it's about the Legion.
So I don't know what will happen once the I assume the veterans would have to take a vote to turn it back to the town. I know when Val was chairman, the town, the highway department repaired their roof.
so this says the town personnel who have been trained in mold remediation have a plan to handle the mold. A budget to account for time and materials is included maybe in the report, not in their plan.
I don't know, the report said that it's been vacant for a few years.
It's been vacant as long as I've been here, 20 years. As long as, how long
Oh, I
do you
thought,
think
I
it's
thought
been
it was
vacant?
having some use until the mold came up.
I don't think the mold would have stopped Bob Rainville. But Bob is getting on in years and,
Well, because the report just says they hosted many town events, the building has been vacant in recent years, but it doesn't really say what that means.
How much land is around that building?
just a postage. The town has never really wanted a lot of land, just enough to do their business and that's it.
0.4 acres.
My husband went to school up in Vermont, in a one-room schoolhouse, and he said was just what it looked like.
Mhm,
And they had a heater, a wood stove,
mhm.
and the teacher would make their, or heat up their soup, and that was their lunch.
There's isolated evidence of deflection and movement in the crawl space and attic framing joinery, as well as the stone and granite foundation system. A professional engineer with specific expertise in structural design and construction must be retained to evaluate.
So I'll say Legion Hall, where would we put the veterans?
Well, what are they doing now? Because if they're not using that building, what are they using for?
I'm not sure. I was hoping Roger Bradley would be here to enlighten us.
Mhm.
Maybe he knew this subject was coming up and decided to postpone.
Mhm.
So, the foundation is shifting, the sidewalk is in poor condition.
The retaining wall?
The main entrance stairs, the plumbing, interior walls, I haven't found a retaining wall.
That's at the bottom.
Sink is in poor condition. Recommended study. Stair and ramps, the handrails are dated and not to code. Flooring needs to be refinished. Oh, there you go, retaining wall in poor condition. Stones are missing. Ceiling finishes, oh, there's that mold. So if the mold, came in, does that mean the roof is leaking, or did they fix the roof? Can I read that somewhere in the,
I don't get this appraisal. The building is still worth $630,000? That's ridiculous.
that seems intriguing.
Well, I mean, if nobody's gonna use the building, why would you remediate the mold?
No, I wouldn't argue with that.
I think this is another building that's candidate to take it down. Why spending that kind of money?
If it's worth 630,000, why not sell it?
Okay,
I'm trying to figure, oh, the asphalt roof was replaced in 2015. So in
Okay, so
theory,
the-
they've had mold since 2015?
I don't know.
Oh,
yeah.
I would have, that's why I would have to ask Roger.
yeah. So is there anything in this report we disagree with?
I honestly don't know enough about it to make an informed decision. If it was up to snuff, maybe the women's auxiliary, the veterans auxiliary could meet up there
Yeah.
also. But I don't know.
I don't know either.
One of the ones that's on that I would feel free to discuss it with would be Jane Sawyer.
So for that one part you mentioned, the information, I would call out about the first page being wrong.
Yeah.
Only because it made it all the way to us.
Yeah, and nobody
Which-
noticed?
Yeah, that's what I find. Because we were waiting for, because they were checking it before they passed it off to everyone, so.
Yeah.
So what should I write for the minutes?
That there, I don't know, if you wanna write that there are two things so far that we disagree with. One, the electric rate is written at 0.25. And two, that the first page is the library.
Yeah, that was a mistake probably. Picked up a wrong picture.
As far as the repairs go, I don't think that it doesn't seem that they're off base on the needed repairs.
Right.
Which improvements do we feel are the most urgent? To me, if we wanna use the building again, getting rid of the mold
Yes.
and making sure the structure is appropriate.
I would say
Seems to be
the first thing would be to make sure the structure is sound, because if it's gonna be outrageously expensive to shore up, if there's structural problems and it's gonna be outrageously expensive, you don't wanna be spending any other money on it.
Right. Because it could have rotten walls and all that stuff, we don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My guess would be, based on reading this, that the guy who assessed it doesn't have a ton of experience with fieldstone and granite base and dirt basements. Only because he said in his statement about getting a structural engineer, specifically one that is, I didn't use the word comfortable, but that's what comes to
I
mind.
think the
One that
building
is,
is half the size of this room.
yeah. Yeah, but so he said one that was comfortable in fieldstone basements, which makes me think he's not
That would be Paul McKelk.
qualified to look at it, yeah?
He helped 19 Carter.
Oh, nice. They have a nice basement.
I don't have a basement, so that's not my worry.
I have a fieldstone basement and our cat goes down there and picks out some creature from the, inside the walls and brings it upstairs and then plays with it.
Oh, they must
It's like,
love you.
oh, yeah, go shopping.
It was like a whole play zone you provided for us.
How do we propose to fund the cost of these improvements?
Oh, jeez.
Hiring that structural engineer.
Yeah.
I mean, they estimate it at, where is it? Oh, nope, I'm
Was
going
it
the
just,
wrong way.
was it 3,000, 4,000?
I think before you wanna go through all that expense, you wanna concern yourself that you're gonna use the building in some capacity.
Right.
Or put a town officer up there that you
7,000.
don't particularly care.
Okay.
There you go. Yeah, maybe it could be the annex town offices.
Yeah,
Maybe it could be where public meetings are held, after all of our public meeting space gets turned into office space. We'll put the select board out there. Then cable will have to have fiber, though.
yeah, but they're talking about the fiber from
Oh, yeah, the school,
Tohoto
yeah.
to here.
Yeah, so go right down the street, right by it. No big deal to run a, see, we got that building taken care of. So, free cash for our $7,000 study?
You know, whatever we put down, they're gonna challenge you.
I don't care. They can challenge me all they want. Is that not an appropriate response? I really enjoy discussion and debating about everybody's opinions and coming to a clear compromise. I'm a huge fan of discussions.
Yeah.
So we can discuss this. I'm happy to discuss it as much as anybody wants.
See, the problem is, we personally didn't see these buildings, none of them, so it's hard to make a decision. If you-
Actually, that's a good point to make, is that if we had had more time with this, because by the time we got this, we only had like a few weeks
Right,
to read it and review it and do everything we have to do before town meeting. So it would have been nicer to have gotten a rougher version of the draft earlier
yeah.
and had a walk through
Yeah,
the
so that
opportunity
you
for,
actually know what you're talking about.
an
Right,
opportunity.
right.
Critical.
Because, I mean, I'm gonna make a digression, but when we were trying to understand what the fire chief and police chief were saying about building an annex,
Yeah, it
until
didn't,
until we had the walkthrough
Right, yeah.
of
Yeah.
their facilities and what they were trying to do, it was really hard to grasp why they needed what they were asking.
Right.
in previous years, and John, were you around for when Margaret and,
Margaret
The
was here, yes. yeah.
DPW guy, I don't remember who it was at that point, was it
Probably
Fred?
Dennis Bartlett.
But
Or Clemmer, Keith Clemmer.
because in capital planning, town-owned property is part of our bylaw, Margaret arranged for us, some of us, to go on a tour. I don't think,
No,
I think that was before,
Yeah, that was before me, yeah.
'cause the architect who lives in, Julie's neighborhood, Richard? He was on our committee, and he went and did some glancing and some photos. So as a committee, not me personally, but as a committee, our committee has already walked through a big chunk of these
Yeah, but
buildings.
the committees roll over.
But our committees have rollen over, and I'm the only one who didn't go on that walkthrough because they did it at a difficult time for me. And I'm the only one still left here standing. So,
I
you
went through with, Judy Booman was still a selectman,
yeah,
because they had problems with the heating system, and they had to have the roof replaced. That's how
Yeah.
I got up there.
so maybe what we can do as a committee is after town meeting, because everything's crazy between now and then, we could set up, and I'm happy to reach out and set up with department heads, or maybe just, Fred, and say, can you take us through,
Maybe
Legion
the
Hall,
fire and
the-
the police chief,
yeah,
and make it open to the public. You're asking them to fund it, let them see it. As you know, I mean, Lee Tabor is an architect.
yeah,
Susan Roberts is a disgraced architect, but she still has the training. She wrote a picture and she didn't attribute it to a person from Northborough, and he pushed it and she got disbarred.
wow. My only concern, I have no concerns giving the public, well, I do actually have concerns giving the public access to the buildings, because we don't know what sort of shape they're in. I know that there was talk about the Veterans Building where the floor wasn't safe. And
I'm
so,
talking about this building for public safety.
oh, well, this building for public safety, absolutely,
Yeah.
that works for me, yeah. I just meant,
And I would give a specific time and say limited to 20 people,
Mhm.
the first 20.
Yeah.
I mean, if 40 sign up, then we'll do a second one for
Mhm.
the next 20.
yeah. I am definitely with you that providing as much information to everyone and giving them the opportunity to see what they're paying for
Right.
is really important.
You know what would actually be
Absolutely.
good on that one, if we could get somebody from the cable
Is who?
video to
Yeah.
actually videotape the walkthrough. So we'd
Oh.
have it on video, what, you know, what
And
the
then put
problems
it on-
are with the current.
And then put it up. And then
Yeah.
those people who can't get in or can't get out of their
Yeah.
homes can see.
Yeah,
I love that idea. So maybe we work it out with
Yeah.
Cable
gonna be
and
much-
Fred and,
Yeah, it's
Mhm.
gonna
Put
be much
together a
easier to make a
building-
decision,
yeah.
do we
Yeah.
dump it or sell it or whatever?
yeah,
Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't
Because
disagree.
As soon as you walk in, you might see rotten walls, and say, whoa, what are we doing?
Right. So on our Legion Hall, are there any recommended improvements you would not choose to move forward with?
I wouldn't do anything until we really see the building. How can we make it,
Yeah,
you know?
I'm gonna say nothing before structural evaluation.
Mhm.
Right. I think the same statement would go with the former rescue squad building.
Yeah. Do we recommend selling this building? I'm gonna, maybe?
Yeah,
Maybe, it depends
maybe.
again, I think the engineering study would probably give you some of the information you need on whether
Yeah.
to do that.
Or just say we had a mixed vote on selling.
Okay, so let's take a vote then.
Yeah, but Stephen isn't here.
Well, but there's three of us. That's a quorum.
I'm not talking a quorum, I'm just talking about to fund this building.
Right, but can't we take a vote on selling it versus not selling it?
If you wish.
Okay. The problem is I'm a definite maybe.
Me too.
But I guess, yeah, so
Selling is undecided.
selling is undecided.
Yeah,
I like
Yeah,
that.
okay.
Need more information?
mhm.
Such as, how in the world is the value really $630,000? $630, I will buy that building tomorrow.
Yeah.
63,000 maybe.
63,000 maybe.
Yeah,
Okay.
Oh, you know what? The library is listed at 63,000. You may wanna call that out as a question mark if that's actually the right,
Okay,
if you look at, John's,
yeah,
yeah.
because they got the other thing wrong with the library, if,
where, John, do you know where you saw their evaluation, their appraisal?
I don't remember now.
well, I'm saying, this was the one that they had the library on the first page.
Right.
Right.
So,
I just wanted to confirm that,
And then put repair cost, question mark,
yeah,
Yeah, you're right, I have no library listed here. Oh, yeah, I do.
you have the library listed at,
At 630 as well, yeah.
yeah, but I'm
Oh, there's
wondering,
something wrong there.
but I'm saying, is it wrong with the?
yeah, is it wrong with them or wrong with you?
Right. Good question.
Based on usage information, the electric was turned off in January of 2023.
see any discrepancy there? No.
I haven't gotten to oh. Wow, that's a really cool old building.
Yeah.
I didn't realize there were so many pictures. Now I wanna go back to the fire storage blah 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 building. Wow, that septic tank looks like a coffin.
There's no bar with beer in it? No.
No. I'm curious,
Well, yeah, they say, because they say the replacement value is 63,000,
where did you find that?
and that's on page 4.
63 or 600?
But it's on, it's the number that you have here,
For the library?
no, for the Legion Hall.
Oh,
What I'm saying though is because they already made the one mistake with the library, putting
Right.
it in this report, we may wanna have them double check that number as well.
Yeah.
Since this building is much older and much smaller than the library.
Yes. What does it say? Does it say 63,000? Did I?
You got it correct, that's what it says on page 4 of the Legion Hall report.
I thought you
Right.
said 630,000.
Yeah.
Oh,
Appraised at, Legion Hall appraised at $630,000. I know you have the former rescue squad building appraised at $301,000?
Yeah.
Where do you,
In the report, I read it.
mhm.
I haven't found that.
Probably page 4 as well, if they're being consistent in how.
I don't see where you're saying what is your page for? This is mine.
That's page 2. I'm looking at the actual page number on the
Oh,
report.
okay,
Sorry, I'm
perfect.
not looking at the,
Nope, that's perfect. That definitely helps me figure out.
Okay.
Oh, there we go. Replacement value, $630,000. On, above the word current.
Oh, so that's different than,
That's not the assessed value.
that's right, that's right. That's for the Legion Hall?
yeah.
And then you had the repair costs at 63?
Short-term need for 130,000 for Legion Hall.
Short-term. I have current as 22,000 and 3 years 184,000.
It's possible that I messed up.
I don't understand this graph at all.
Need to turn the lights on.
So where's the library in my list here? I have South Commons, Transfer Station, Curatorial. We did talk about the library,
We
right?
did the library.
I remember,
I checked it off.
I remember looking at the pictures.
We voted on the library.
We did. 1870 Town Hall, Municipal Building, Berlin, this must be Berlin Public Library. I hate that you yell at me. Stop yelling at me. Just open the file. Ah, there we go, library. Okay. Are you looking at the library, Julie?
Yeah.
So I have replacement value of 1.2 million.
Yep.
So it looks like,
Okay.
it looks like the library is the library and the Legion Hall is the Legion Hall.
Okay, yeah, sounds good.
Okay.
So my report is wrong there, okay.
We're gonna have to fire you.
I'm fired.
I appreciate you doing this because I was going back and forth trying to figure out what.
It's so hard, the numbers are all over the place and it's hard to read.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Okay, so I make a motion that we vote to approve this piece of paper, these pieces of paper about the Legion Hall as we just discussed.
discuss.
Yes.
Second.
With,
Second,
okay,
second.
with a maybe vote on selling it.
Mhm.
Discussion? All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. I'm gonna close this. I wanna go back for a moment to the former rescue squad building
Uh-huh.
and see pictures. There we go. Photographic record. Here we go.
Okay.
Well, that's all the exterior. And first floor just shows all that stuff in it. Oh, nope, they have a fire truck in the basement.
No.
Yes.
Is it a toy one?
Nope. Ah, where did you go? It's not fair.
Oh, there it is.
So there's a fire truck.
Oh, you're right. How the hell did they make it in the basement?
I don't know.
There must be another door.
What page is that roughly?
Towards the end, let me see if I can, my thing says 36.
Okay.
Uh,
There must be another door on the left side there to get the truck in.
Oh wait, where?
Here you go.
There.
There
Yeah.
it
So it
is.
must be behind this door, door number 2,
Right,
Yeah.
right.
door
Mhm.
number 2.
I never knew that was there.
And that door
Oh,
is
okay, what is this?
on the right
So-
side.
Yeah, so here's the
So-
back of that building, here's the old fire station,
That's your side, yeah, yeah.
but that's like a back, that's like a cat door into a random basement under a parking space.
Is that for the Miller's house?
I don't think so. I mean, I think it's under the
Because
old
it's
fire
between,
station.
it's between the two buildings.
Yeah,
Yeah. We really need to walk through this to make a decision to repair it or
Mhm.
dump it. Okay.
almost feel like I can see the front of the
Oh,
fire
yeah.
truck there in that photo.
So that truck is just rotting away in there. It's probably humid and.
I mean, I know they pulled it out for the musters. I don't know how often that
Yeah, a few years
happens.
back, about 10 years ago, something like that.
Mhm.
Okay,
So who owns that truck?
fire department.
Fire department.
Okay, so let's go back. We did Bullard House.
Okay, I would ask that we do the Bullet House and the Curation Building together, because they're, the curator building handles it saves all the paperwork from the Bullet House.
I would actually say they do them separately because they're separate structures and they're in different states of,
Yeah,
Repair.
Curation
c-
building
c-
is
'cause
basically new.
it's basically new, and I
Right.
think we could knock that one off really quickly.
Okay,
And then we can discuss the Bullard, because that seems to have a lot going on. But, I mean, I know that they're used together, but they're two separate buildings.
okay.
And they're the last two things we have to talk about.
Yeah.
So how much more time do we have?
30 minutes.
Yeah.
Do you have to go to different meeting?
No, there's another meeting in here after us.
And the chairman is my assistant, so.
Okay, so the curatorial building, I don't know that,
6:32.
I don't know that I can spell that without looking at it.
And that has air conditioning and everything to keep the papers mold-proof, similar
Right.
to what I have downstairs in the vault. And as far as the bullet house, in the last, 3 or 4 years, they've gotten 2 grants from the community preservation in the neighborhood of $100,000 each, so the problem with an old house, as my parents' house was built in the 1880s, is you go to do one thing,
And you have to do everything else before you can do that thing.
correct. But I think they're getting, I have a hard time, I don't wanna erase the town's history.
Right.
That's the first house in Berlin.
How is it?
So are we doing the curatorial first or the
Well,
bullet?
that was fairly new. What was there to do?
But we still have to fill out the form.
Yeah, so the curatorial building, the only recommendation they have is that we do a study for ADA access. So do we disagree with any information in the report?
No.
Oh, the electrical's at 0.25 kilowatt.
That was done by Assabet.
Yep. Okay. And then, which recommendations do we feel are the most urgent? None?
None.
How do you propose to pay for none? With nothing?
Nothing.
Free cash.
Yeah.
No, that you want an override
Yeah.
or an underride.
Yeah.
Okay, and then, are there any recommended improvements you would not move forward with?
No.
So are we, how useful is an ADA accessibility study? Because that's their recommendation for $8,000 to do an ADA
How
accessibility.
many? 8?
$8,000, a study to make the building ADA accessible,
Just for the study?
just for the study. Mhm.
That's
Who's gonna
crazy.
go in there?
That was sort of my question. Do we need to study it? Is it
No.
needed?
I would hold off on it for now. I think the question would come up if this was a more public building
Right,
where you had people coming in like it was a museum or an office.
right.
But compared to some of the other places that need ADA,
Right.
Put it 10th in line then.
yeah, I think, I mean, if you compare some of the other public areas in town, I think that's low on.
Consider pausing ADA study
Yeah.
on basis of,
Building,
yeah,
Priority for other locations,
yeah, and lack of public access.
yeah.
Who comes with this estimate? I still have trouble with that thing. You
These
just look at the
people.
steps, okay, 1, 2 steps, and you gotta, now give you $8,000 and it just told you that. It's crazy.
yep.
It's absolutely insane.
Okay, do we recommend selling this building?
No,
No.
Okay, I vote that we all accept this piece of paper report as written with a unanimous no vote on selling the curatorial building.
Right. I second
Second.
that.
Discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, Bullard House.
They've gotten 2 substantial community preservation grants.
Mm-hmm.
And I think once those are done, it will be in a lot better shape. A little birdie told me they were trying to have it open again if they do like a Christmas in Berlin or something like that. They used to.
Mhm. So those grants are covering everything that's in this study?
What's in the study?
Exterior walls in poor condition. Interior walls in poor condition. Ceilings in poor condition, flooring in poor condition. Needs a water heater and plumbing system.
I don't know, I have not seen the list. If you want further, more definitive information, you can go to June Miller, she's the chairman of the Historical Commission, or,
No, my question is for like this study, if the funding is already there and the work's underway.
they've got like 200,000.
Right.
I know that it was something like 100 for the foundation and basement. Although this report doesn't mention the foundation and basement, so I assume that it looks pretty good.
Ellie Bergen might be able to help you more. I don't have a breakdown
Yeah.
of what they intend to do.
So going forward, I guess one of the questions on this building, for the work that needs to get done, it sounds like the idea is to be using the Community Preservation
Mhm.
Act funds.
And,
Are they getting other grants
some-
as well?
well, they are trying to get grants from the state historical,
Okay,
because it's on the National Historic Register. And that's one of the things that has to happen in order to be eligible. And they get them through my boss, the Secretary of State.
mhm.
So the electric is listed at,
And also,
point
they
14.
need architectural drawings in order to do that,
for the,
something like that I heard,
for the, I lost track of my thought. For the historical appropriation or to get the grants?
to get the grant.
Hmm.
I believe in order to get the grant, you have to have certified plans by actual people who know what they're talking about.
Right.
Yeah, that sounds fair.
Yeah.
I'll look at the pictures. So they didn't, I mean, they don't say anything about, oh, those are some beautiful floors. They don't say anything about the foundation
No,
and the structure being in question.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna guess that those are good things.
I know it was something Al McQuarrie was working on before he died.
Yeah. So their suggested repairs are exterior and interior walls, ceilings.
How about we take that
Floorings.
and send that to the Historical Commission and ask them for an answer for us?
They're doing the same paperwork that we're doing, every
Oh,
board
okay.
and committee
Yeah, and they probably already got it before we did, because like, I know the library
got
committee
theirs.
got this a while ago, to do the first vetting before it came down to us. So,
What, with poor relatives?
Mm-hmm,
yep. No, I think Kristen was worried about there being inaccuracies, so I think she asked, all the relevant departments to check out their specific studies. And then,
Within, yeah, like one of them I said about the Board of Health, well, I think you said they should reevaluate everything down at the transfer station.
mhm. So,
Well, that's the Board of Health's jurisdiction.
yeah.
so do we disagree with any information in this report?
no, I don't know.
I would like confirmation from the historical commission
that,
that it's accurate.
that the report is accurate. I'm gonna put that under additional comments. Yeah, how come it feels like it's 10 o'clock
Is that the
tonight?
last one? Oh, no, transfer station.
Nope, we did that already.
Oh, we
This
did?
is the last one.
This is our last one.
Okay.
Yeah,
in-
and we have like 20 minutes, so we're doing well.
Well, I thought the other one was, South Common Structure.
Oh, we voted to demolish that.
Yeah, we did it already.
I mean, we already like put up the funds for 18, for
I
town
know,
meeting.
50,000, and I said for 50,000, I'd rather put something on Craigslist saying, you give us a surety bond, and you can take the wood.
Yeah. It cost us nothing.
And then if no takers, then
Mhm.
we destroy it,
Yeah.
a giant bonfire.
Yeah.
You
But
can't burn it
but-
because of the creosote.
Yeah, we already talked to the fire department about that. They don't know what's in it, so it's,
Oh, I can walk in and take a look at it.
no, what the actual structure, like,
Yeah,
What
because
chemicals
it
are in
was
the
made by
structure?
telephone poles.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
And then there's probably asbestos in the
Yeah.
ceiling tiles.
yeah.
So,
Hence, I would guess the large cost to demolish it, because you have to
Yeah.
demolish it appropriately and then
Yeah.
get rid of the waste appropriately,
yeah.
all that
But,
sort of stuff.
But where are we on the Bullard?
So, in reviewing the recommended improvements, which ones do you feel are the most urgent? And I guess I personally would say exterior walls, like
Mhm.
fixing the building envelope.
Yeah,
Anybody else?
Which one are we talking about now?
The Bullard House.
Oh, Bullard, oh, so, yeah. How's the roof on that house? Has it been-
Says it's good.
Oh, it's probably done already.
Yeah, it was done already.
Does it give a date for when that, when
That's
they
what I was-
went? I just wanted to know how current the information was.
It doesn't say, when the report was done?
Well, when they went out, I mean,
Yep.
I don't wanna be saying something to the historical commission and they're looking and saying, well, that's already been resolved.
November 9th, 2023. So 6 months ago.
That's
5 months
recent,
ago.
yeah.
So it says it's currently undergoing a renovation, but little has been accomplished relative to the architectural elements. The asphalt shingle roof has no reported leaks or issues and has plenty of life remaining.
Okay.
That's what it says about the roof.
Little progress, but we spent, what, 200 grand?
We haven't spent it yet, they just have it in an account to
okay.
spend.
mhm.
How do we propose to fund these things? Just, CPA?
Yeah. CPA and grants.
And state grants.
Do we are there any recommended improvements you would not choose to move forward with?
That's a tough one.
I mean, walls, plumbing, electrical, that's what they're recommending.
What you have to do to make it usable.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
So no? Does your committee recommend selling this building?
I actually have a question about that.
Yeah.
Because I don't know much about this stuff. But I had run into somebody from one of the towns around here, and I can't remember which one, but she said that they had a significant historic building in their town, and they ended up selling it or having their version of Historical Society take over it, because it was actually easier to manage it and do all the funding than to have it under town ownership.
I thought that that was my assumption of how the Bullard building was, that it wasn't under town ownership, it was under historical commission ownership,
It was
but,
bought 50% by the town, 50% by the Historical Society, with the stipulation that the town would pay the electric and the fuel, and the Historical Society would manage it.
Mhm. So the town's paying the electrical and the fuel, and then the Historical Society is paying for everything else? Okay.
that's cool to know.
Yeah,
Would be much cheaper if you sell the building, fix it on a private cost, and then sell it back.
Why? Because of the,
because of the requirements for being a public space?
Yeah.
yeah. Then you'd buy it back and then you'd still have to make it into, you'd have to make it ADA compliant.
There are very different rules for a public space
Yeah.
than for a private home.
And I think the other challenge too with the Bullard House is because they're also gonna be doing their own, I cannot say that word, curation.
Mm,
Because they mentioned that they wanna, have art shows and show historical artifacts. You have to have a certain level of management
yeah,
of the environment.
I
And-
know it's a problem for them because people donate stuff to them that's big and bulky, and they really have no place for it.
Well, that's a different thing. That's where a
Like-
curatorial team decides what the focus is of the collection and what they're gonna keep and what they're not gonna keep. And that's what the Historical Society should be doing, is deciding what is the direction and what they're gonna keep. But if you talk to anybody who does anything these days with museums, they have to decide what their focus is. And
Yeah,
that's
their
up to them.
focus is Berlin.
Yeah, but even within Berlin, how many of just because it was part of Berlin, does that tell the story that
Like,
they wanna
they
tell?
got Joanne Wheeler's, she had a collection of historical dresses.
Mhm.
And she donated
The
that
whole
to
thing
them.
is taking way too long. We've been talking about this for 5 years, and what got done? Nothing.
Mm.
Or more than 5 years.
more than 5 years,
Yeah,
but,
maybe 10, 15, or more, I don't know. And
should we hold a vote about our opinions about selling the land? Should we say it's mixed?
No,
no,
make a motion.
let the Historical Society decide on this one.
Well, they're asking our opinion.
I know.
I make a motion that we vote to not sell the Bullard House.
Correct.
Is that a second?
Second that.
Why?
Why not sell it?
Yeah.
Because I love old buildings, and the idea of having an appropriate historical building in Berlin that we can go have hot cocoa at Christmas time sounds amazing.
Well, see, what I was saying, it was like, my question had been, was like, not just to randomly sell it, but to sell it to the Historical Society. But I
Right.
didn't realize the Historical Society actually owned half of it,
Right.
so.
Yeah, I'm not opposed to selling it, but I'm not opposed to not selling it either, if that makes sense. Like, I like the idea of it.
I don't want it to go away, so,
No,
but,
the
but I was just
Historical Society is a separate entity. It has nothing to do with the town?
yes, it's outside of the town.
Correct.
I misunderstood.
But they work with the town, because they have a historical commission.
The Historical Commission is part of the town,
Right.
but it is society that makes the repairs and does all that. They're often the same people.
Mhm.
Yep. So can I circle back to the vote? I'm voting aye to keep the Bullard House.
I don't wish to sell it.
Okay.
I vote
No,
aye with
you
you.
would.
You can vote no, there's
I
no,
know, this
there's
is-
no judgment.
Yeah,
I mean, I look at it, it's a historical building. If it looked a little bit better, it's in the center of town.
mhm.
a lot of people have mixed feelings about this Bullet House. Some of them burn it down, so next of them, don't
Yeah,
touch it.
until it's something they want, and then they want it safeguarded.
Right.
Well, I think like for somebody like me who moved here, it's like, I've never been in the building, it hasn't been accessible. It's there.
Right.
And everybody says this is an important historical building, but because they haven't been able to move forward with any of the plans,
Would you like me to arrange a private tour for you?
Yes,
yes,
Yeah.
we should put, well, we simply want to see some of these other buildings, so.
I was gonna say, we should put together a day
Yeah,
in the summer.
Mhm,
I can put together a day, I'm happy to.
yeah,
But I'll get Eloise to get us into the Bullard House, and I'll get Fred to get us in what he can get us in, and maybe Fire Chief to get us in the fire station.
they don't even need
buildings.
to all be on the same day if that's hard, I mean,
yeah, we can do
Yeah.
the same day.
I mean, we all live nearby, so.
I like the idea though of a day, of a excursion day. But yeah, no, we can put it
Yeah.
together in different bits and pieces.
Mhm.
We could do that, be our summer project. It's capital planning. I make a motion that we vote to approve these two pieces of paper on the Bullard House as we just discussed with a
So
mixed
moved.
vote. Okay, all those in favor say aye.
I
Aye.
need a copy of all of those because I said it in this, that they would be attached to the minutes because
Cause you don't wanna rewrite them 6 times?
something like that.
That's fair. I will try and figure out how to use the copier, and then I was gonna staple them together, and I'm not sure then what I'm supposed to do with them.
Probably give it back to Kristen.
Yes, definitely, but I'm not sure how. I assume she has a box.
She has a mailbox out there.
Perfect.
Is this yours or is from,
That's, it came for us,
okay.
so I'm gonna throw it away unless
Okay,
anybody wants it.
when
So,
is our next meeting?
so we're going to adjourn at 6, no, we're not gonna adjourn. Our next meeting is town meeting?
I don't know, I'm asking.
I know,
May
I'm,
5th, is it? Yeah.
Yeah,
May.
I'm at town meeting and I have a meeting just before that for FinCom at 7.
okay. Isn't town meeting at 7?
Or whatever, we're like half an hour before town
Yep.
meeting starts, whatever.
I don't know at this moment in time that we need another scheduled meeting.
Before the town meeting? I don't think so.
I mean, I'm not gonna be in town, unfortunately, I'm stuck in school in New York. Yeah, not excited.
Okay, so
Um,
then we adjourn at what time?
So then we adjourn at 6:54 PM, and I'll reach out about scheduling a date for after town meeting about, building explorations.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Thank you guys for all the stuff we've done over the last 6 months. Started out as a regular year and then
Yeah.
went wonky. I'm trying to figure out how to, since I won't be at town meeting, I want to make my husband stand up and say something about my feelings about the schools. And that's really hard for my husband to stand up and do. So I was gonna make him posters. So he just had to hold them up instead of
Put 'em
saying
up.
something.
On the
Good,
walls, as people walk in.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah,
Like outside the room or
What,
inside?
I'm sorry, what posters for what?
For my feelings about school and the school budget and an override.
I am not happy that they didn't put the override on the election.
You know, I was remembering about that, and I think Kristen was saying
This
something
is your
about,
pen.
because the motions are gonna come through when FinCom does the motions. And I'm still like kind of new to that part of how FinCom does.
Whatever amount FinCon wants to give them, that's the amount FinCom would say.
Yeah, but all the motions that FinCom makes have to be, they're not in the warrant that got printed and sent out.
That's true. So then you go back, so if I'm a former school committee member, I hear that you wanna give us 600.
We don't wanna give you anything, we're just gonna give you like the bare minimum. And then you want, 200,000 more or 1 million more, right?
You have to have given them something.
Yeah, we gave them a 2.5 over last year.
Which was already 6 or 7% over the year before.
Yeah,
That's the nature of schools.
It is the nature of
Yeah.
everything, but it
Yeah.
doesn't mean I don't want to stand up and scream my head off.
Right.
yeah.
It's just as well you won't be there.
Yes! Yes, because I will make sure I hold up posters with
Anna
exclamation
Craig
points.
Had to be removed.
So one of the things I found
I'm
out
gonna be
is
the
that
Peter
sitting
Hoffman.
on FinCom, I'm not allowed to do that.
I-
Because
You
last
can-
year, Mary Porter tried to give out a sheet explaining where all the numbers were coming from, and Mike Topman had a fit and made her stop because she was a member of the finance committee.
So I do know you're allowed to stand up and
So I can
say,
stand up and say as myself,
yeah.
but
Yeah, when you get up, you say Julia Malik, your address, and then say, I am speaking as a.
resident and not as a member of the.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
But so town meeting's at 7:30.
okay.
The select board,
Is it 7?
yeah, they're meeting at 7 and FinCom's also having it.
So do you have the FinCom numbers on you, on your computer?
No, they're in the,
Can I pause us and kick us out of this room so they can come in and get settled?
Are they
I
there?
was
No.
working
Yeah,
off
there are
of
people in the
the
hallway.
Google
Oh, they
Drive
are,
Yeah.
that has all the,
on those posters. Can you send me, I'll suck my wife, she's gonna go up and say something.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah,
we have
Um,
access to the Google Drive.
Yeah, I have to figure
that-
out what I'm gonna,
We're leaving.
I have to figure it out what I'm gonna,
okay.
how, I wanna make it very clear and put a lot of